Good afternoon, I hope you're doing well. In today's video, I'm doing a Q&A, get ready with me, and I'm doing it in natural light, so excuse the in and outs. I have a little bit of dryness and a bit of a breakout happening. It's really minor, but you know, it's that time of the month, so it's going to happen. La Roche Posay Duo Effaclar. I'm just gonna put this everywhere. I know it's a spot treatment, but sometimes when my skin is like this, I'm just like, no, put it everywhere. Just for now. And I'll be putting on some Olay Regenerist with SPF 25. And my lips are crazy dry, so I'm gonna take this discontinued product, which is a coconut oil, and I'm gonna use that as a lip chap. And we're gonna go on to the questions. And all the products will be listed down below. All right, so the first question is from Gabby. First of all, Gabby, I know you've been following me for a really long time, so thank you so much for submitting a question. It's been years. It's been a really long time. So she asks, how are you and what's new with you? Well, I'm well. Thank you very much. I hope you are well too. I would say the entirety of this year has been new, and I've not really talked about it online, but 2 days before my birthday last year, I got some life-changing news, and it completely changed my perspective on everything, influenced my lifestyle and my belief systems. And it's not something I can discuss online because it's not my news, but it very much affects me. But what I can share with you is that every year up until this one, I've never really felt like a responsible adult. I've always felt like I'm still growing up. And this year really changed so much for me. Anyone who's gone through a major life-changing event like this one can relate to me on this subject, where it's just like your life does a 180. It has not been a positive thing, but it has been something that has brought so much positivity into my life. It has shown me how much of a responsible person and dependable person I can be. I'm gonna use some Porefessional, but at the same time, it has been very painful. It's been a, wow, I got primer all over my hair. Trying to talk serious. Oh gosh, it has been really painful, and I mourn a lot of the liberties that I used to have, but I see that it was just not a sustainable lifestyle for me to live anyways, and this life event has really forced me to change. And so that is where the positivity comes in, but it sucks, and I don't know what to say. It just sucks. But everything with me personally has been really good. I have reached a lot of goals. I have been so persistent, so organized. I've done so many things this year. I didn't think it was possible to do more this year than I did last year, but just a lot. It's not just weight loss, it's so much, so much. Let me prime my lids. I'm still using that NARS proprime. Still trying to use this thing up. The next question is from Steph. Hi Steph, thank you for leaving a question for me. It reads, has your fitness routine changed since your last update in November? Short answer is yes. Yes, it has. I'm gonna pull out a palette, so that I'm just gonna do a really simple look because there aren't that many questions. Y'all didn't leave me that many. Not many people care. That's okay. I don't mind. Actually, it's easier for me to answer less questions because I can unpack them, because sometimes there's more than just a simple yes and then move on. I'm more in maintenance mode now, and I opted out of getting the 15-pound dumbbells because I mean, they take up space and I just don't need that right now. I feel like I can get a really good workout in with the 10 pounds, and I've actually scaled back on working out, because before I was doing, I would say, one 20-minute full body hit or strength workout video 10 to 15 minutes after that, whether it be lower body, upper body, or abs, whatever. And then would do a cool down and a warm up before, of course. So I've really scaled back, and now instead of doing that 3 to 4 times a week, I actually do anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes 3 times a week, more or less. And this week I haven't worked out at all. I just kind of gave myself a break because it was a really busy week. I've gone down to about 129, 130 pounds ish. So I just don't feel like I need to do much more than maintenance, because if I work out more, I get more hungry and it ends up being more work in terms of picking up more groceries and cooking bigger batches of meals and da 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 da, and I get more tired, more sore. But I mean, it also gives you more energy. But I found that 15 to 20 minutes 3 times a week works really well for me right now, because I'm doing a lot of carrying groceries throughout the week. I'm not paying for public transport right now because the weather has gotten good enough that I can walk with my groceries. So that kind of adds to my activity, I guess, physical activity. Groceries are pretty heavy, you know, like milk, potatoes, heavy stuff, beets, lots of vegetables, lots of fruits. Yeah. So like I said, I'm around the 40-pound weight loss mark at this point, and I'm not trying to lose any more weight because that is just, I'm good. Still eating healthy, but I still do eat some processed foods. I definitely eat meat, but I steer clear of red meats except liver. I do really like clams. Clams and liver are fantastic sources of iron. And I mostly eat poultry or fish. This video is not about the look that I'm creating, clearly. My fitness goals later on, they might change. They're not gonna stay the same, but right now I've just kind of scaled back and I'm relaxing because in the summer I tend to go out more, and so I'll walk more and be more active. And like I said, I carry heavy groceries. It's harder than it looks to do a good makeup look while you're talking about your life instead of narrating through exactly what your makeup is going to look like or what products you're going to use next, da 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 da. This is like a very nothing look. Oh man, I'm really selling myself right now. What I do find really surprising after all of this time working out is I am constantly taken aback by how strong I've gotten. Bringing down the compost on compost day, there's so many things that would have winded me before that don't wind me anymore, and I just feel very strong and healthy, and it's fantastic. Like I needed to feel this way again. And of course there's the fact that I freaking love the way that I look. Like, not to sound vain, but this is the fittest I've ever been, and just sort of the most healthy I've been mind and body wise, because I think it's so much more than that. It's so much more than just losing weight. It's also establishing that connection between you and your body, and I don't know, some mumbo jumbo stuff in a self-help book or something. But all that to say, I'm really enjoying the way I look and feel, and I'm quite happy to stay this way. I will continue to work out. It's forever a part of my routine. I can confidently say that for now. So the next question is from the beautiful Luisa. Thank you so much for submitting a couple of questions. I really appreciate it. She asks, what are my least favorite and favorite products to pan? So I'll start with favorites. Maybe lip liner. I don't necessarily have a favorite product to pan, but I feel like that is just easier than lip gloss or lipstick. I'm really intimidated by panning lip products in general because I have a lip picking habit, and many lip products just don't feel comfortable to me on the lips. I don't like thick layers of anything on my lips. So many times when I would film using drying matte liquid lips and stuff like that, I would immediately go and take said product off, or it would only look good for a bit and then I would just get frustrated with it. So let's say lip liner is one of my faves, and I also like skincare, and I like panning skincare and body care because I get that satisfaction of taking out bulk. So when you finish a makeup item, so many makeup products are quite small and not as satisfying to remove from your collection. But at the end of the year, when I do my yearly empties, it's so satisfying to put all of that stuff in recycling or in the trash and just get it out of my home. It feels really cathartic. I really like decluttering. The next question that Luisa asked me is, how do you balance dating, working out, YouTube, and working? So I'll get on to the dating because there's another question about that afterwards. But first, let me talk about everything else. So as far as my schedule goes, I basically work a 9 to 5 from home. I'm so blessed, honestly. I am so grateful that that job is mine and that I'm able to work from home. I don't feel as burdened by it as when I was going into the office all the time to get trained, and I feel really comfortable at my workplace. I really like the people that I work with. Actually, my boss is someone that I worked with before. I've worked for them for 5 years before, and I'm working for them again, and I'm very, very happy. The fact that I work from home makes things so much easier in terms of planning what I'm gonna eat and when I'm gonna work out and my other responsibilities. So I typically do those 15 to 30 minute workouts either on my lunch break or right after work. I wish I were doing them before work, but that is a whole other subject because I tend to get up half an hour before I start work just to have coffee and set myself up to sit down at my desk and actually get started. In terms of YouTube, I plan my videos and I often do sort of notes. I have notes right here, like I have the answers to the questions so that I don't veer off too much. I tend to script my videos because it makes editing easier afterwards. It means you take less time to film and less time to edit. You're just a lot more efficient, and I highly recommend it to anyone who does YouTube videos too, especially if it's these kind of videos or talking videos or tutorials. Have a plan of more or less what you're going to say on camera so that you don't veer off too much, and then if you veer off, you can add those things in if they're relevant. But yeah, anyway, I can sit down and film 1 to 3 videos in one sitting on a Saturday. Do I do that every week? Absolutely not. I'd say editing is really where I need to pick up the slack. I am so precise right now. I'm just gonna do a little contourage. Oh, yes. Oh boy. Editing is just, it's kind of been the bane of my existence because I spend so much more time on the computer now than I did before because I work from home on a laptop, obviously. The last thing I want to do sometimes is to continue being on the computer. But I think I need to schedule 1 hour or 2 hour time blocks where I just sit at the computer after work to edit. It's just a bit tough because sometimes after work I really gotta go to the grocery store or I need to prepare supper because I have to do those things. Everybody has to do those things, right? And so that's where my motivation falters a little bit. It's in the editing, and I find that editing right after you film a video, it's not the same vibe as editing when you filmed the video a week ago, especially if it's a rambly video like this one. Like, you better bet your bum that I am going to be editing this video immediately after because I remember what I said and I'll remember the parts that I want to cut out. All right, next I have a couple of questions from A Little Panning. Thank you so much for submitting another question today, by the way. That's really nice of you. And this is the question I'm going to start with, actually. She says, how is the no buy going? Now, I've not bought any makeup this year. That was my prerogative. That was my plan. I just said, you know, I just want to stop buying makeup indefinitely until I actually run out of something and actually need it, you know? I don't know how well blended out this is, but we're gonna go with it. Yes. Obviously, now that I'm working again and I have a little bit more leisure income, you could say, and I need it, I want to go out a little bit more often. Just yesterday, my best friend and I went to Barbara in St. Henry, and then we stopped at Corcel for a little drinky drank, and that was nice. I still don't really drink at home or drink in any scenario that doesn't have to do with going out with my friend for a drink, or actually, yeah, I'm not dating. So, oh, I forgot to blend this. Why didn't you guys tell me? I forgot to blend right under. The way that my budget is right now, it looks like I should be fully debt-free in 6 months. So I'm very excited for that. Really proud of all the progress that I've made in that area of my life. I haven't been completely transparent about how much I owe and where exactly my finances are going the way I thought I might have wanted to be online. But I just feel like that leaves you open to so much scrutiny, and I know it's taboo, but there are plenty of other people who do it online, and I think maybe I don't want to be one of them. Because there are people that I actually know who watch my stuff, and I just feel a little bit exposed. It's weird. I don't care to tell strangers, but I care more about people I know in my real life. Just not so much their opinion about me, but more how their opinion affects how they think that they can talk to me. That's more what it is. A Little Panning also asks, how long have you been attempting to casually date before you got burned out? This is kind of there's gonna be a long-winded answer to this, okay? I would consider my casual dating lifespan to be pretty much all of my 20s and my years in high school as well, except for the half decade that I was in a long-term relationship in my 20s. And then after that, I got onto dating apps, and I was on and off for 3 years, and I think I didn't even realize that I was burnt out. And I was very burnt out by the time I met my ex. At the time, I just settled because it was easy, fun. He was consistent enough in his interest at the time, so I wasn't really concerned about longevity. I was just kind of like, I'm going with the flow, I'm living my life. And then we broke up, and I got back on in late January up until I want to say November, and that's when you see all of my story time videos. I tell all the stories of like the really weird and ridiculous riffraff that I went out with. A couple of people were normal, but most people were just so bad. I don't know, maybe my filtering process wasn't right. In November of 2020, I took a break from that whole COVID and chill. I wasn't trying to get infected, and I also did not want to be going to people's houses. We were on full lockdown, so there weren't really any options for dates. So it was basically people just trying to get you to bed over at their house, or trying to sleep at your house to sleep with you. And it's just this like weird sort of nesting situation that I was just totally not down with. It made people get so casual about dating, and I think there is still a lot of casual attitude towards dating, which is all fine and dandy if you're in your 20s and depending on what you're looking for, but it's just not my jam. It's not what I want to be doing right now. I just don't have time or energy for it. I don't want to be walked like a dog or drinking coffee at obscene hours of the afternoon. It's just no. After that, I got back on 6 months later, so for summer 2021, and I met 2 people. And the second person I went out with was someone I ended up dating for 4 to 5 months, more or less. And I told you guys about this. That's a whole other story. But I've just come to realize that I am allergic to dust, and the men on dating apps are freaking dusty. They are so dusty. Holy moly. Or at least the ones that I picked out. Because now there are so many things that I gave a blind eye to that I would never tolerate now. I can't. I got sick of him by the time I started working. And like I said, that's a whole other story. I'd be willing to do a story time about like all the things I disliked about him. And it's not to put him on blast, but it's to put just some people on blast who behave like him. Pretty dry right now, but I'm gonna put a little bit of gloss and you won't know. You won't know, you won't see it. How will they know? They'll never know. They're gonna know. I'm currently not on any applications. My friend is begging me to get back on. I'm living vicariously through her screenshots though. And she's constantly validating my choice not to be on there, although she's had 1 or 2 good dates, let's say. It's early days though. And I wish her all the best. I wish anyone the best if they go on there, but I think I'm just jaded from so many negative experiences and just emotional and physical dissatisfaction in dating, and just my standards were not being met. My standards are not absurd. My standards are be treated with respect, and you know, I'm not looking for crazy ass butterflies or anything. I want a traditional relationship. That's basically what I want right now. And I find it's a little bit trickier to find on dating apps than it is in other social settings, let's say. So what am I gonna do to position myself accordingly? Because that's how I've been working at every aspect of my life. I looked for work relentlessly to position myself better financially. I worked out consistently to position myself better, stay organized, and keep a positive outlook for the other thing that I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I'm going through right now. And the next step is kind of like maybe to work on a few things. Like I want to work on my wardrobe. That's something I really want to work on, because I've lost almost 40 pounds and there's tons of clothes that don't fit me or don't fit the way that I want to portray myself, or how I want to walk into the world today. They're not really a reflection of who I am anymore. So that's something I want to work on very slowly and in a way that is cost effective as well. I'd really like to get back into thrifting again. The other thing is, of course, the elephant in the room, love life. I'm just trying to position myself in a way that I'm approachable to people who I would potentially like to be in a relationship with. So basically, I want to take myself to places where I would like to be on for dates. And my friend and I are gonna go to a golf range potentially this summer. It's like a shooting range for golf. I want to do something like that. I don't know, tons of ideas. Let me know any of your experiences down below. I'm curious to hear how you met your significant other, particularly if you met them later in life and not in high school or at work. Who knows, maybe I'll meet someone at work. I don't know, just playing it by ear. Not really itching for it. There's one more thing I want to do. I've got my damp beauty blender here and a dewy setting spray, which is discontinued. Fantastic. Don't you love when that happens? I feel like Dermablend just sent me this a few months ago, but it is what it is. And I'm just going to pat everywhere. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask me for another get ready with me or Q&A, or if you just want me to answer in the comments, leave it down below, please. It can be about anything, more or less, I mean within acceptable reason, and I would be very happy to answer. I really enjoyed filming this video because it forced me to put on some makeup today, which I might not have done, and I really enjoyed talking to you guys, and yeah, see you in my next video. Bye.